how to solve one-step equations. Okay, with equations, our goal is to get the variable by itself. So our goal of solving the equation is to get the variable, or we can write to get the variable alone. Meaning, we have just one variable on one side of the equal sign. So x equals 7, or m equals 3, or m equals -3. So we're trying to figure out what that variable equals. Okay, we're trying to figure that out, get it by itself, or get it alone. Okay, now remember, in order to do this, we are going to use inverse operations. Okay, so whatever is being done to our variable, we're going to do the inverse operation, so the opposite operation, to undo that and to get the variable by itself. Now with equations are like scales. All right, we have one side equals the other side. So if we do something to one side, we gotta do it to the same on the other side. If I have 3 birds on this side, and then I have 3 birds on this side, if I take away a bird on one side, I gotta take it away on the other side, because remember, it's like a scale. What we do to one side, we gotta do to the other. All right, so these inverse operations, all right, are what we're going to be using. So let's say we're adding 23. Our inverse operation would be to subtract 23. All right, let's say we're subtracting 18. Our inverse operation of subtracting 18 would be the opposite operation of subtraction, which is addition. So we would add 18. All right, so inverse operations, the opposite operation of adding is to subtract that number. If we're subtracting, we're going to add that number. All right, and now again, remember, equations are like scales. Anything we do to one side, we must do to the other. We have to keep the equations balanced, okay? Just like if I have 5 equals 5, if I add 2 over here, guys, 7 does not equal 5. If I add 2 here, I gotta add 2 there to keep it balanced, okay? So that's super important. All right, so whenever we're solving for these, through the equal sign, I like making a little divider through the equal sign to help me know what's on each side. So step 1, what's being done to x? Well, if I look on the side of our x, we're adding 5. So we want to get rid of adding 5. What's our inverse operation of adding 5? So it's going to be to subtract 5. All right, so the inverse operation is to do -5. And then again, if whatever I do to one side of the equal sign, I have to do to the other. So I'm going to do -5 on this side, but then I also have to do it on that side. Now, on the left-hand side, we have +5 minus 5. That's technically 0. That cancels out. So now I have x plus 0. But guys, what's x plus 0? That's just x. All right, which is exactly what we wanted. We wanted x by itself. We were adding 5 to x, so we have to undo the addition by using subtraction. All right, so we undo that to get rid of the 5. We do -5, but then again, we have to do it to both sides. So now on the right side, -3 minus 5, that's a build for the negatives. We're gonna have 8 negatives. And I'm done. I got x by itself. X is -8. Now guys, what's really, really awesome about this unit is we can check our answers. All right, I can check if I got the question correct or not. In order to do that, we're going to write, so I'm looking here, we're going to write the original equation. We're going to substitute the value for x. So where I see x, I'm going to plug in my answer using parentheses. I'm going to plug in. So we have x plus 5 equals negative 3. I'm going to plug in negative 8. And then I'm going to use order of operations. Negative 8 plus 5 will give me negative 3. That does equal negative 3. So I got it correct. I'm good. Now guys, let's say I messed up and let's say I got negative 2 for my answer. Alright, I would have plugged it in. And when I did negative 2 plus 5, I would get positive 3. Does positive 3 equal negative 3? No, that would tell me that my answer is wrong. So when you plug it in, if it doesn't work out, if you get something that doesn't make sense, that means that your answer is wrong. So check your work. Check if it makes sense. All right, on number 2, before I even start solving, I have to do something. All right, what do we need to do first? Yeah, we gotta dump those doubles. Always, always dump doubles. A positive and a negative becomes a negative. And then again, I like putting up a little divider through the equal sign. Now our purpose, we need x by itself. All right, and guys, it won't always be x. It could be m or y or z, but right now it's x. So we want x by itself. So we have to look at what's being done to x. All right, we are subtracting 2. We're subtracting 2, so we have to undo minus 2. The opposite operation is going to be to add 2. So we're going to add 2 to both sides. Okay? Negative 2 plus 2 is going to give us 0. We're technically going to have x plus 0, but guys, that's just x. Okay? That cancels out, right? On the left side, we're left with just x, which is what we wanted. On the right side, negative 11 plus 2, that's a battle. The negatives are going to win by 9. And now, when you go to plug this in, I suggest plugging it in to the second part where you dumped your doubles already. Okay? So I have x minus 2. Well, we got negative 9 for x, and then equals negative 11. So if I plug this into my calculator, or if we use what we know, negative 9 minus 2, that's a battle for the negatives. I do get something that is true, which means negative 9 is my answer, or negative 9 is my solution. So guys, another word for our answer, we can also call this our solution. Our solution is our answer. All right, let's look at the next one. All right, so I make my little divider. I'm going to look at what's being done to x. So we're adding, but we're adding a negative. I'm adding a negative number. So I need to think, what is the inverse of negative 7.5? I need to basically find its inverse, its additive inverse. All right? It's going to be positive 7.5. Right? And if you wanted to rewrite this, guys, the x is positive, this other guy is negative. You could rewrite it like that if you want to, and then equals 10. If that makes more sense, that we're going to get rid of that minus 7.5, we're going to add 7.5. We have to use its inverse, and then what I do to one side, I do to the other. Negative 7.5 plus 7.5, when we add those are opposites. We get 0. 0 plus x is just x, okay? which is what we wanted, all right? We wanted x by itself. We're using that inverse operation. Now 10 plus 7.5, we get 17.5. Let's go and plug that in. For x, I write my original equation, negative 7.5 plus, and then instead of writing x, I'm going to plug in my answer. When I go to work this out, we can use our calculators if we want. We get 10 does equal 10. I'm good. All right, this next problem. All right, do my little divider. All right, so this time we have x on the right-hand side. This is no different than the others. It's just on the right side, but that just means we still need x by itself. I still have stuff to get rid of on the right-hand side. My first step, I need to dump my doubles. Always, always dump doubles. 2 negatives will become a positive. All right, and now guys, you could always rewrite this. I see some people do this. That's fine. Or you don't have to do it. It's totally up to you what you like. Okay, when I go to solve for this, we are adding. So look at what's being done to x. We're adding a positive 11. We're adding the 11, so I need to get rid of a positive 11. The inverse operation to get rid of that positive 11 is to subtract 11. All right, so we have to do minus 11. And if you didn't see that, you could also rewrite it like this with the x first. That 11, there's a positive in front of it. So we would do minus 11, okay, to both sides. 36 minus 11 is 25. On this side, the 11s cancel. 11 minus 11 is just 0. I'm left with x. Let's go ahead and plug it in to the original equation where we dump doubles. 11 plus 25 does give me 36. Okay? If you're unsure about any of these, go back, listen to the video again. All right, but once you feel confident, go ahead and try the practice. Remember, if you have doubles, you're always dumping the doubles first. Okay? Check your answers if you're unsure about anything by plugging it in. And then on numbers 9 and 10, you have to write your equation, and then you're solving for x. When you're done with the back, raise your hand to get checked so that you can move on to the next set of notes, the next video. Good luck.